If you're exercising, tracking your macros, eating clean, and still not losing fat, you need to hear this. It took me 12 years to get my dream body, and in this video I'm going to share with you the mistakes I made that I thought were healthy but were actually sabotaging my fat loss. And hear me out, I was doing everything right. I ate clean, I tracked my macros, I exercised, but still I wasn't getting toned. I tried every possible fat loss diet out there. I tried every possible form of exercise, from HIIT to running 10 kilometers on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, but nothing worked. Until I finally cracked the code that got me my dream body. Once I fixed these 7 mistakes I was making, fat literally melted off my body without dieting or exercise, and the best part is that anyone can do this. These mistakes are timestamped below, but I really recommend you watching this entire video from the beginning to an end, because these mistakes build on each other, and skipping parts of this video might leave you missing some important details that could be the missing part of the puzzle in getting your dream body much quicker than I did. So here's the thing. My entire life, I dreamed of a fit and toned body. Basically, I wanted to look like this. So I started working out and learning about nutrition. I started running, going to the gym, and eating healthy. In the beginning, I saw some results, but not exactly what I wanted. I started to look for more advice. I read articles and blog posts on how to get toned and get abs. All the research I did concluded into this one advice: eat clean and exercise. So I did. I would go for a fasted 10-kilometer run first thing in the morning, after which I will drink a berry smoothie for breakfast. In the evenings, I will bike 7 kilometers to the gym, do a 30-minute cardio session there, followed by 1 hour intense workout, and then bike back home. I calculated calories of each cucumber and carrot, and I ate only clean whole foods. Basically, I did everything by the book, but yet it didn't work. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. In fact, my body composition was getting even worse. I spent evenings reading, how can I get toned? All these Insta bloggers I followed and these Pinterest girls had such perfect bodies, and I could not understand what was I doing wrong. I started thinking, could it be that I'm just not trying hard enough? Maybe I didn't sport enough and ate too much. So I doubled down. I worked out even harder and ate even cleaner. I started experimenting different types of sports, thinking that maybe the type of the sport I'm doing has something to do with it. Maybe HIIT is the answer to getting rid of my muffin top and getting my waist snatched, or maybe cycling or skating didn't do a difference. Then I thought, okay, then it must be something about diet. I started experimenting with different diets, and then I found about becoming vegan. I was so sure that that is the answer. So that's how I became vegan. However, I still didn't see the abs I wanted. In fact, I started to get other side effects. My hair started thinning, I couldn't sleep at nights, and my school performance started to go down. I literally tried every diet out there, every fat loss hack, every possible form of sport, and nothing worked. I was so frustrated, so devastated. Why wasn't it working for me? Where are my abs? Why I'm not getting toned when I am working this hard and eating this clean? I even started to think that maybe my body is just built this way and I can never achieve the results I'm after. Out of desperation, I hired a personal trainer, which changed everything I had learned about fitness. But at first, I couldn't accept her advice. I even questioned her professionalism. But turns out, I was making the biggest mistake possible. The one that kept me stuck for years. We'll get to that soon, but first let me tell you where I went wrong. What I was doing back then was far from being healthy. Although yes, I ate clean and I moved my body, but being healthy is so much more than just what you eat, and losing fat and getting toned goes far beyond than just eating a salad for lunch. To get in shape, your body has to be healthy as a whole, and once that's achieved, losing fat happens effortlessly. Being in shape, being fit, is a byproduct of a healthy system, healthy body. So focusing on your entire health is the key to losing fat. And I'll continue telling what did I do to achieve this state where my body just melted in few months into something that I worked so hard for over a decade. Which brings me to my second mistake that was sabotaging my fat loss. You know how they say that calorie deficit and exercise give you abs? Well, that advice ruined my body. And this is actually the most common mistake people do, myself included. And I know this is hard to comprehend in your head when logically thinking, if you don't eat much, you should be losing fat, right? In theory, this works, but on practice, it is not that simple. Let me explain. My problem was that I was on a calorie deficit for way too long, which ended up wrecking my metabolism, and to recover, to fix that, I had to start eating more. But eating more isn't what did the trick fat loss wise. Here is what did. After I had recovered psychologically from starving my body and I had learned that eating more is fine, I started to think about food all the time. What will I eat for breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner? Will the division of macros be good? The food weight and calorie and macro calculating apps were part of my daily tasks. I ate as every gym person does: oats, eggs, chicken and broccoli, rice, etc. I felt constantly full and sluggish. I started to blame dairy for making me feel sluggish, or maybe it's the wheat or something else. Now, in addition to not being able to lose fat, I also started to notice that the food I'm eating isn't making me feel good, although it is maybe something that my personal trainer said me to do. But what I knew for sure is that I wasn't feeling good. I realized that I cannot continue living this way. I don't want to be this obsessed about food for the rest of my life, and I don't want to feel this way, full and sluggish. And for God's sake, I just want to lose fat. Why does it have to be this complicated? So I realized I cannot continue living this way either, so I decided to just it, so to say. I decided to relax, stop everything I was doing, and let go. And suddenly, I had cracked the freaking code. So here's the thing. I started getting the results I wanted once I stopped obsessing over food. I stopped starving myself, but I also stopped stuffing myself. I stopped calculating calories. I stopped weighing my food or tracking macros. I stopped limiting foods. And instead, I started just eating normal food. Still healthy, yes, but just normal. Home cooked meals. My eating became intuitive. I only eat when I'm hungry and not because my diet plan says me that I have to eat at 3 p.m. a snack, although I'm still full as from the lunch I ate. It's really simple. If I crave for something, I eat it. If I'm full, I stop eating. I don't follow a certain diet or avoid certain foods unless I have to because of an allergy, intolerance, or other health reasons. I do avoid anything that's artificial or processed or is just not good for your health. It's also very simple. If it's natural, I eat it. If it's not, I most likely don't. However, I do still sometimes eat a candy bar or chocolate or chips. The key here is being balanced. And I really strongly believe that intuitive eating is the answer. Coming from a person who has literally tried it all, these are the food habits that have done the biggest change for me. But it is not only the food habits alone that allowed me to lose fat and getting toned, which brings me to my third mistake that was ruining my fat loss. Now that I think back, it's almost ironic how I run 10 kilometers every morning and got fatter. But here's why. Working out made me fatter because I overtrained, meaning it was in flight or fight mode. And in this state, it is not possible to lose fat. No matter what you do, it's not possible. So what you gotta do is you need to rest. You need to eat more and you need to rest. And my personal trainer demanded me to stop exercising and instead focus on recovering my body, which can take even few years to recover. And indeed, for me, it took 5 years to fully recover. But it was definitely worth it. After recovery, I finally saw the results I had been chasing for over a decade, but not in a way that you might think. Here's the thing. What I had to learn the hard way is that in order to lose fat, you actually have to exercise quite little, which again goes against the common advice: move more, eat less, and you'll lose fat. 3 times, 1 hour a week is more than enough. I started to see the biggest results when I switched from hours at the gym to 40 to 1 hour max. And even better when I switched gym to Pilates. Not a reformer or anything, just simple home Pilates. It's the best thing I've ever done for my body because when I used to train at the gym, I always had this problem that my tights used to be quite thick and I always hold into water weight. And once I switched to Pilates, I've never had this problem with muscular legs or water weight ever since. Further, I replaced 10-kilometer runs with 1 hour walks, which also was a big game changer in getting toned and losing fat. So going from high intensity to low intensity exercise is what did the trick for me to start losing fat and getting toned exercise wise. But there was something even more important I had to fix first. Which brings me to my fourth mistake that was ruining my fat loss. And if you don't fix this, you could be wasting years same way as I did. I mean, imagine spending over a decade working on your dream body without seeing any results. That was me. And the worst part was that I did not understand why. But now I finally know what was the problem. So here's the thing. Everything I did in the beginning of my health journey was wrecking my nervous system, overeating, underexercising, etc. And only when my nervous system was regulated, I started to see results. Not because of eating healthy or exercising, but because I had a regulated nervous system. The thing is, you can sport all you want, but if your nervous system is not at rest, you will not see the results you're after. Because the truth is that you don't even need to be on a diet or exercise in order to lose fat. All you need is a regulated nervous system. Then the fat will literally melt off your body while you're laying on your couch eating chocolate. So here's what I did to regulate my nervous system. In addition to what I already mentioned, eating more and exercising less, there are 3 more things that I did to regulate my nervous system that allowed me to get toned and lose fat. Finally. 1. I ended a toxic, emotionally abusive relationship. I was 4 years in a relationship that was really challenging and it wasn't going good at all. It was toxic and emotionally abusive, and only once I ended it, and I am now in a peaceful and a calm relationship where we support each other, my body composition has changed so much. So get yourself a man that will calm your nervous system and not F it up. The second thing I did to regulate my nervous system, which I still underestimate to this day, and this might be an obvious one, but I feel like I need to say this because once I fixed this, I saw how big impact it had. And it's sleeping enough, just like our pup is right now doing here. He knows what's good. And the last thing I did to regulate my nervous system is purpose and self-actualization related, but I started doing things I like doing. I started prioritize work-life balance, aka study life balance, slowing down, following my heart, enjoying life a little bit more. So the key word is avoiding stress. And I know it's not possible to eliminate it from your life completely, but listening to your body will do a lot for you. And what I mean is that if you're stressed, maybe doing a high intensity workout is not a good idea. That's not what your body will appreciate right now, but instead it will appreciate Pilates or yoga followed by a deep breath session or having a walk in nature. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow because it really goes against the common advice, eat less and sport more to lose fat. But nope, girls, it's not true. All you need is a calm, regulated nervous system. Because not having a calm nervous system can cause you even more problems, which will deepen the fat loss problem even more. Which brings me to my 5th mistake that was ruining my fat loss. And this is the most important. Had I not fixed this, I would have never lost fat or seen my body getting toned. And this could be your case too. My healthy lifestyle that I was practicing back in the days did a big damage on my overall health, and one of the biggest complications it caused was a malfunctioning thyroid, aka hypothyroidism, which was the biggest blocker standing in my way to losing fat. Hypothyroidism means that your thyroid is not working quick enough. Healthy function of a thyroid is so crucial because it plays a big role in metabolism. Basically, it controls it. And if the thyroid is slow, no amount of exercise or dieting will do a difference. This was my case. So if you cannot lose weight, no matter what you're doing, there might be underlying health issues that needs to be resolved first. Once I fixed my thyroid, my body started to function normal again. If I went on a calorie deficit, I would actually see results, which was so rewarding when you've been struggling with this for over a decade. But here's the thing, what fixed my thyroid was what I did during those years recovering. Eating more, sporting less, prioritizing rest, avoiding stress, and calming down my nervous system. I did not use medications to fix it. And one more thing that played the biggest part in fixing my thyroid was fixing my iron levels. And even more importantly, ferritin levels. Because iron plays a big part in thyroid function, and due to all the dieting I did during those years, my iron levels and even more importantly ferritin levels were totally empty. I started taking pills, and after 3 months, oh my god, I saw so crazy results. My hair started to grow, I started to have so much energy, I felt so much better, and next time I went to do my blood tests, my thyroid was fixed. Now my body was functioning normal and I could see results I was after. So here's what I meant when I said in the beginning that it's not about the food you eat or how much you exercise, it's about your health as a whole. Getting my dream body had nothing to do with pushing harder at the gym or cutting more calories. It was about actually getting healthy. Of course, you still need to eat healthy. Of course, you need to eat less and move more in order to lose fat. But if you overdo it, it goes against you. Working hard is not the answer. Don't fight your body. but work with it. This is a major mindset shift that I had to go through. That was really hard for me at first, switching from that work harder to more slower and intuitive approach. Which brings me to my sixth mistake that was ruining my fat loss. The fitness advice I followed literally ruined my body because most of the fitness advice out there is for men and it does not work for women. We gotta understand that the male and female bodies are built different, and a lot of the fitness advice out there is from the male perspective. So no wonder it wasn't working and got my body completely wrecked. Women need to be more intuitive with everything. Listen to our bodies. Do we feel strong today or do we need something more soothing? Some days you also need to eat more than others, and avoiding certain foods can be seriously damaging your health. For example, avoiding saturated fats is the biggest mistake a woman can do. I used to avoid them like the plague, but that seriously ruined my health. Here is why. We need fats, healthy but also saturated fats, for our hormones to work well. I used to avoid eating cheese, butter, milk, and I felt so bad and so weak. My face was full of painful pimples, my hair was super weak, and hormones totally out of balance. But when I incorporated products containing saturated fats again back into my diet, I've never been healthier, felt better, or looked better. If you are a healthy individual, like you don't have diabetes or any other health complications, you don't get fat from certain foods. There is no special diet to lose weight, and you cannot lose weight in one place, specific place only. That all is just bullshit created by the fitness industry. I also want to mention that body types are different and that's normal. This is genetics. You cannot fight this. Another thing that the women also need to understand and accept is that your body composition will change during the month. A week before my period, I cannot wear certain pants of mine, and with years, I've learned it's okay. I didn't get fat because of the chocolate bar I ate yesterday evening. It's my periods. This is just something we need to learn to live with, and instead of punish our bodies, we need to learn to nourish them. Because when we do, this is also when we start to feel our best, look our best, and also perform at our best. Which brings me to my seventh mistake that was ruining my fat loss. There is more to life than just being in shape. And when something starts to be such of an obsession that it starts to affect the other parts of your life, it should be a red flag for you. Like for me, because of my obsession, my school performance started to go down. And when I fixed my habits and started to take care of myself, I started to notice big changes in my performance. Not only that I got my dream body, but I also started to feel more energetic and my brain efficiency improved insanely much. I started learning new things super easy and quick. I could stay productive for 8 to 10 hours a day without having dips in energy. However, I simply couldn't fit everything into this one video. So to learn more about improving your productivity, watch this video.